With the first weekend of the Black Ops 6 beta being over with, pretty much every COD creator has given their piece on the game, for better or for worse. Being a varied gaming channel, I figure I might as well give my thoughts and opinions on the game as well. Though I will give the disclaimer, I've never been a hardcore COD player, and currently am not either. So this will be more the casual's point of view on the beta. So, roll the intro, let's get into it. I'm going to start by saying I did not experience any of the severe technical issues that a lot of people were reporting while playing on last-gen Xbox One S or playing on next-gen Xbox Series X, though I was unable to get footage on Series X due to the Xbox itself bugging out, which I still don't know why it was doing that. Either way, the footage you're watching is last-gen, so if it looks a little choppy, yeah, that's why. Talking about the game itself, I'm going to talk about what I like first. What I really did like was the game's selling point, the Omni movement. It felt really fluid, and while sprinting in every direction certainly took some getting used to, it felt really good. And being able to dive in any direction really helps with your survivability, being able to dive behind cover or jump in front of enemies and then jump back. I also like that they brought back a health bar for this game, as it's better than just having to go by the amount of blood on your screen what your health is at. It's a really good way of telling if you're ready for a fight or if you need to hang back and let it regen. Obviously, you should always let it regen, but there's some times where you just have to run in and hope you can clutch it. I just really like the health bar more. I know that some people don't, but I personally really do. Beyond that, the gunplay in this game feels really nice. I like how fluid the guns feel to use, the sound effects and animations are top tier, and they remind me a lot of Black Ops 3. They're definitely better than MW2 and 3, obviously the new ones, and I'm sorry for not weighing this game against some old legends like the original Black Ops games, or, you know, COD 4, or the original MW2 or 3, but I simply haven't played them because, well, Activision's still, selling them for full price, and I am not paying full price for games that old. I'm sorry. I'll play them when they come to Game Pass, though, and I really do want to play the original Black Ops games, because, they look really fun. So, moving on. As far as my favorite weapons during the beta, absolutely the AME-85 was my favorite. That's the assault rifle you unlock at level 20, or if you have the Vault Edition, it is the Plague Doctor. I ended up using the Plague Doctor, and that's what's in the gameplay you've seen on screen, basically this whole video. I really liked the Plague Doctor. I think it's really great, and I will definitely be using it in the second weekend a lot, too. Obviously, I have to say the PDW Jackal, as well as basically everyone and their mother was using that SMG. And I don't think that's a bad thing. It certainly feels nice, and the Vault Edition one is quite powerful. It's all around great. I also liked the C9, aka the MP5. I ended up using that on the last day a lot, and I even managed to rack up a Hellstorm in the first 30 seconds of a match using it, which was really nice. It felt really good. An honorable mention goes to the Vault Edition sniper rifle, the Brainstorm. This sniper is based on the LP whatever number it is, and it felt really nice to use, though since I'm crap with snipers, I only got it one decent clip. And since it was on the Series X, it won't play and breaks my editing software if I put it in. So, big sadness that, but it was a double headshot because two guys ran in front of each other, and it got the best play of the match. I'll try to upload it as a short if I can, but it probably won't let me do that either, so big sadness. I'll also give another honorable mention to the AK-74. Although I didn't use it too much, what I did use of it felt really good. It's certainly fun, and it feels like a Call of Duty AK, that's for sure. That's about all I can say about the AK, though. I mean, we all know how the AK feels. It doesn't really change between games all that much. Talking about modes, I didn't play the 6v6 on small maps with no score streaks, because honestly, I just hate kill confirmed in any game, because some teammates just don't pick up the items. People just pick them up. Either way, can't really say anything about that, because I didn't play it at all. Can't say anything about the modes, can't say anything about the maps. Like I said, this is the casual's point of view, and I just didn't jive with that mode. As far as the core mosh pit, I really like Domination. Domination is my favorite game mode when it comes to core mosh pit. It always is the most fair, and there's the most going on. Overall, Domination was fun. HVT was the first time I played HVT, and I think it was fun. Definitely some problems, but not with the mode, just that I kinda suck sometimes if I'm not paying attention. Hardpoint, I mean, it was Hardpoint. There was some annoying times with the maps. Some maps definitely favor one team over the other, especially if your team keeps flipping the spawns and you get shot in the back. That's a teammate problem, though, and not really a map problem. Beyond that, Team Deathmatch was Team Deathmatch. Doesn't change in literally any game, so you can probably infer what that was like. It was fair. Obviously, if one team has a really good player, obviously you're going to be, pretty boned, but honestly, it was fun, and that's what matters. Maps-wise, I don't think there was exactly a bad map, except for one, which I found rather tedious and annoying, but we'll get to that in my dislikes. Overall, the other three were pretty fun. Honestly, I'd say Skyline was probably my favorite, as it definitely had the most even playing fields, and I found myself voting for Derelict and Skyline the most. Overall, I wish there was a slightly bigger map in the running, or slightly more, as they all felt pretty congested, but apart from that, I think it was fine. It's no worse than any other COD small maps. And, honestly, I think it'll be fine when the game fully releases, or if we get more in Weekend 2. So, we'll see about then if I change my tune. On the topic of bugs, glitches, and hackers, I can confidently say I don't think I ran into any hackers, ? There might have been one guy that me and Inquisitor thought might have been snapping to people, but either that or he was, on mouse and keyboard and really good. I'm not sure. It could be either one. If he was on mouse and keyboard and really good, respect, dog. If you were hacking, please get out. On bugs side, I didn't find any glaring bugs or glitches, though I will say that there was some crashing when loading out of the match, even on next-gen consoles. This happened maybe 1 in 15 matches where it would freeze up and then I'd get kicked out of the game back to the home menu. But that was fine on Series X. It was a quick load time, and since it was the end of the match, it wasn't actually that disparaging or bad. It didn't ruin my game, just meant I had to relaunch it, which is fine in my opinion. I know some people were having login issues, but I, playing through Game Pass, had no problem getting in on my first login and was able to get the Vault Edition for only $30, which was really nice, as I quite like the Brutus skin, aka the Warden from Alcatraz, and I just love that Zombies callback. I may not have played the games, but I can certainly respect the history, and honestly, he looks awesome. Some people might not agree. I saw a lot of people using Klaus, and as far as the Black Ops team goes, I pretty much switched between Adler and Park. I don't think one of them is better than the other. They're, all black suit with orange stripy lines. Not much more I can say. Brutus was definitely the highlight of the skins. Another really basic thing that I quite like is the winner's circle. I know it's been in a lot of COD games, but I feel like it needs to be in more. I just like the idea of putting the top 3 players on the winning team on a podium. And I just think it's nice. You can feel free to disagree with me on that. That's completely subjective in my opinion. But I like it, and I like it. You can feel free to disagree. I also really liked the weapon mod system in this game a lot more than the last 3 MW games, as it's much simpler than the gunsmith. Basically, you go to the gunsmith on a weapon, you get shown, well, you have these 10 options for what you can put on your gun, you open one of those options, so you say optic, and then you just scroll down the list of which optic you want. It's that simple, it's not super complicated, there's no advanced tunings, thankfully, because that was something I hated about MW2. You also unlock attachments for each weapon by leveling up that specific weapon, not leveling up its step cousin that just so happens to have an attachment you want for it. And I'm sorry, that was the one thing I hated about Modern Warfare 2, and I'm pretty sure everyone else did. And I was the weird one that liked that game. And I hated that. Because if there was a certain weapon you wanted, a certain attachment for a weapon you wanted, you had to level up a different one, which was stupid. All around, if they stick to this weapon mod system, it's gonna be really nice. They could change it in the future and ruin it, but I hope they don't. Sure, it's no Big 10, but I still think it's way better than the gunsmith. Grenades-wise, while I usually use flashbangs, I actually found myself using the concussion a lot in this game. With how important movement is to gameplay, slowing people down is really important. Lethals-wise, it's either the Semtex or the Thermo Grenade, but basically for the entire playtime I use the Thermo Grenade because I found it really nice for flushing enemies out, as it gives them a small window to have to run away or get blown up, which often meant people were running into my line of sight and I could just gun them down. All around, I think the lethal and non-lethal options in this game are pretty good, and we'll probably get more at launch because, what's a Call of Duty without throwing knives, to be honest. On the topic of kill streaks, I really like the ones we were given as far as a beta goes. Obviously, I'd like to see care packages, a juggernaut, and a gunship, but the Hellstorm honestly was a really fun kill streak. It feels like a cruise missile on steroids, and I for one really like it. The Watchdog Helo honestly was more powerful than I was expecting. All they really need to do is add a Juggernaut, a gunship, and then care packages, and obviously a few other staples, and I think we'll have a perfect score streak system. And yes, I know I said kill streaks before, there's score streaks in this game. And personally, I actually like score streaks more than kill streaks. Since you get score from basically everything, that means you get to drop stuff more often. Wrapping up the things that I do like the idea of using the same 3 perks of a specific class giving you a bonus. I ended up not using it too much because I'm too much of a sucker for using the Ghost perk because, you know, being invisible to UAV is just kind of, you know, almost necessary depending on your playstyle. And I really liked being able to take enemy players hostage. Although I didn't get to do it that often, I did do it a couple times, and it's really fun, and some creators did some really inventive and honestly messed up fun stuff with it. It was a fun mechanic to use, and I'm really hopeful that I'll get to use it more in next weekend's beta, and also when the game fully launches. Now getting into my dislikes, I do have to once again preface, this is my opinion, and you're not all gonna agree, and that is fine. Just please keep your comments PG-13. Thank you. Thank you very much. So, that map I said I didn't like. That map would be Rewind, and yes, I know, a lot of people really liked that map. And my opinion on it is, it's the right map for the wrong player. I'm just not the player who likes maps like Rewind. The fact that one half of the map is just murder, death, kill zone, no man's land where you can't walk without being gunned down, by either side, mind you, I just don't really like. I like maps where each team can kind of take shots at each other, there's plenty of cover, and it takes a slightly more strategic mind on what you're doing, and not just throw yourself into the blender on the alleyway side or the shops. I know, again, there's players who like that kind of map, and more power to you. Go play Rewind more. Definitely play it for me more, because I basically voted for any other map. Scud also isn't a, perfect map. It has its problems, and the gameplay during this section is on Scud. And it was a match where I wasn't having a very good time, but I don't blame it on the map, I blame it on my, playing on a last-gen console, after playing on next-gen for basically the whole previous day, and also, again, I'm not the best COD player, I recognize that, and if you don't want to take me seriously because that, and you don't want to listen to what I have to say, go ahead, that's fine. But it is good to get a casual's perspective on things, because a lot of high-end players often end up overlooking stuff that the majority casual player base really, really notices. So I figure it's good to get both sides of the spectrum here. I've tried to record this part many, many times now, and I really can't get it in a place where I'm really happy with it without it sounding ranty. So I'm just gonna leave it at this. I don't like hyperbolic movement in new COD, and if you do, that's fine. I don't treat it as a negative against any COD game, it's just not my favorite thing. But I can still have fun and enjoy the games, even if I am kind of bad at the hyperbolic movement. If you like it, you like it. And honestly, my biggest problem with this game is, oh my, the drop shotters. I hate how many drop shotters there are. That is the one thing that I really, really, really do not like. Basically, everything else is forgivable except the drop shotters. If you drop shot, please stay out of my games. I don't want to deal with you any longer. Please, please spare me this time. Beyond that, I don't really have any other problems with the beta. Honestly, my own gripes and grievances are not really here or there. It's my opinion, and you might have a completely different opinion on the game. Are hardcore FPS players and longtime COD fans gonna enjoy it? I don't know. Maybe not, but it's sure as hell gonna be definitely fun for casuals who are just gonna pick it up on Game Pass and enjoy it for what it is. A fun arena shooter, and that's okay. Not everything needs to be this extreme esports, hardcore FPS thing. Because, honestly, the vast majority of a player base for a game is usually a casual one, not a hardcore one, and honestly, it's more important to appeal to the majority than to the minority. And while that sounds bad, that's how games that are very popular and have stayed relevant have, because they've listened to their communities, and yes, Activision isn't really good at that, and that's depressing, because if they were, COD probably wouldn't have had the fall from grace that it's been having. To be honest, my biggest takeaway for everything is form your own opinions on them. If you can go play next weekend's beta on Game Pass, go try it and make your own opinion for yourself. Because randoms on YouTube, no matter how big their subscriber count is, no matter how many views they pull, won't be able to tell you how to form your opinion on the game. And honestly, that's what matters more, your opinion. Go make your opinion on the game, and stop listening to everyone else's, because that's going to determine whether you like it or not. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. And that brings us to the end of this video. Like I said, I can't tell you if this game is good or bad. I can tell you that I like this game, and I think it's good, and I'm hopeful for its future at full release. You can form your own opinion. You can think, I don't like this game's gonna fail, I don't like it, and that's fine. That's your opinion on it. We can have a different opinion on it, and the only way you're gonna know is if you go do it yourself and play it, instead of listening to me or any other YouTuber on this platform, because we can't tell you how you're going to experience the game and how much you're gonna like it. With that, if you did enjoy this video, consider hitting the like button down below, as it helps me out a ton, and if you like what I do and you want more of it, consider subscribing for more. With that, I'll see you all next time.